Good afternoon, and welcome to the March meeting of the Finance Committee. Actually, you have the good seat today, Al. I'll have your typical seat.
We planned it. Kim actually wanted you there.
It's very nice. You should come around this side sometime, Mr. Johnson.
I'm always afraid I'm going to look out in a snowstorm. Spend an extra day.
Hey, well, anyway, thank you. First up on the agenda are the meeting minutes from the February meeting. February 5? February 5th meeting of the Finance Committee. Can I please have a motion to approve those meeting minutes?
I'll move that.
Thank you. A second. Tracy up there in Albany. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that carries. Finance will be dealing with one matter today, the school district revenue bond financing. And Dave, who is present with us in New York, will be presenting. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. The Finance Committee is being asked to recommend to the full board the adoption of the necessary documents to authorize multiple series of tax-exempt and/or taxable bonds in an amount not to exceed $750 million to be sold through multiple negotiated offerings on behalf of various New York State school districts. Proceeds from this authorization may be used to refinance the bond anticipation notes or bands of various New York State school districts, the proceeds of which were used to finance capital projects in anticipation of permanent financing. Proceeds may also be used to finance the new money projects on behalf of these districts. Proceeds can also be used to refund bonds issued by DASNY through the school district program, although we do not anticipate any refundings through this authorization. We're seeking this authorization in anticipation of a June pool for new money refinancing and new money projects. Similar to last year, you may recall that participation was high as interest rates rise in relation to the statewide average interest rate. So just to recap how that works, when school districts issue on their own, they're reimbursed at they receive building aid based on the statewide average. That rate is at 2.5% right now. School districts that issue through DASNY receive building aid based on their actual cost of borrowing. So as interest rates rise in relation to that statewide average, it's beneficial for the districts to come to the DASNY pool. And what we're seeing as of this morning, there's 58 districts that are interested in participating in this year's pool with a par amount exceeding $600 million. So that's even larger than a pool that we had last year. Structure and security will be the same as previous school district pools. Semi-annual payments to be made pursuant to financing agreements that are backed by the full faith and credit general obligation bonds of the participating districts. A statutory intercept through the state comptroller of any state aid to participating districts for debt service on the DASNY bonds, as well as bond insurance if available and economically advantageous. We have used bond insurance in previous school district pools. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Questions?
So you would expect it's more likely than not that there will be bond insurance here?
Yeah, the past few pools we've had bond insurance on certain maturities. It was we had two different bids, and they were low enough that it was beneficial to apply to certain maturities. So the expectation is that will happen again. Sure.
What's the rate on that? What do they pay on that?
Boy, I think it was 8 to 10 basis points. It was pretty low. I think there's Assured and BAM are the two that we typically use. That's really the only bond insurance that's available.
Does the education department chime in on these things, or typically?
All the projects that we're financing have already been approved by ECD. Yep.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Great question.
And they've haven't they all been approved by the local school
voters?
district?
Yes.
In a plebiscite of the school district?
Correct. Yes.
That's just done by the school boards, not by any vote. Is there a vote?
Yeah, there's a vote. Just in the rural districts.
Yeah.
And any issues with, I know the budget is still sort of playing itself out. I know there's a little bit of a back and forth on the education amounts. Does that have any impact on this, or you don't expect it to?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not aware of any impact on this program.
David, we've got 58 school districts so far, big number. I suppose you expect more.
It could go up. I did ask for all the financial advisors to get back to me by today. Typically, right around this time, we might get some last-minute additions. We might actually have some drop out as well. So I think that's probably a fair estimate.
But the fact that we vote on it doesn't actually close the pool.
Correct.
And the underlying projects are all just very school projects.
Yes.
The construction of a building or gym or whatever.
Yeah, and a lot of the projects have already been completed because they've issued bond anticipation notes
Oh, I got it.
going back
Yes,
2 or
right,
3
right,
years,
right,
and now
right,
they're
right.
just moving into permanent
I got it.
financing.
I understand. Makes sense. Okay. What do we do? We use like once or twice a year?
Lately, it's been once a year. When going back 2 or 3 years ago, we were doing a new money pool and a refunding pool. But since we had done advanced refundings up until last year, there's really no current refundings available. So we really only anticipate a new money pool. So we do offer it sometimes later in the year, but it's been the preference of the districts and the FAs to just try to do it once per year.
Well, thank you, David, for your typical excellent presentation.
As I said, it's the flow chart on page 2.
Yes,
that does
yes.
it for me every time. Thank you, David.
Sure.
I like the charts. Any other concern? Tracy, anything come up in Albany?
No, I think that the security is the intercept of state aid, right? That is the mechanism of repayment. Is that right? The aid to the schools is the security.
That's correct. It's a standby intercept of public funds if there's a missed payment by the district.
Anything else?
No, sir, that's it for me.
Member Johnson, Member Ellis, anything? Hearing none, can I please get a motion to recommend approval of this offering at tomorrow's full board meeting? Thank you, Tracy, thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Unless anybody has anything else for us? I'm gonna look
Mr.
for
Chairman?
motion. Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Chairman,
yes.
I apologize. The Finance Committee also needs to review the Finance Committee charter. Staff is not recommending any changes to the charter. It's included
Okay.
behind tab 2.
Behind tab 2.
Thank you very much, Portia.
It's 3 pages long.
We're just basically renewing it, right?
That's right.
Portia?
Yeah, this is the annual review, and staff is not recommending any changes.
Right, okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve.
Thank you. Second? Thank you, Tracy. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? That motion, actually, the motion was to approve this,
To
right?
approve it, right, not to recommend it. to
Right, we
The
approve.
full board.
Yes, we actually do something.
We have to do that.
Well, thank you. That motion carries. Anything else, Portia?
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anything else? Nothing? I got a motion to adjourn?
So
Thank
moved.
you. Second, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? That concludes the March